We're joined now by Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl and student athletes Jared Harper and Bryce Brown. We'll ask Coach Pearl to give us a couple opening thoughts, then we'll take questions first for the student athletes this evening. Coach.
I want to congratulate Virginia on a great victory and advancing to the championship game. We knew we were playing against a great team with a great defensive scheme. Made it very difficult for us, but we've got incredible character and heart and belief. These guys have overcome adversity all year long. They've been doubted all year long. And we're just disappointed that we're not going to get a chance to work tonight and tomorrow and have a chance to play for a championship. I'm very, very proud of these two guys right here who are, I don't know whether they're the best backcourt in the country. That doesn't matter. But I wouldn't trade either one of them for any backcourt in the country.
We'll take questions now for the student athletes. If you do have a question for the student athletes, please raise your hand. We'll start all the way in the back on the right side of the aisle.
For Bryce and Jared, what were your thoughts on that last foul call? And what did you all think as they were trying to figure out what the call was?
We'll ask Bryce to take that first, followed by Jared.
I just didn't think it was a foul. But the ref thought otherwise, so can't go back and rewind it. So.
And Jared.
I would just say that I think it was a tough call, but that's not where we lost the game, I don't think.
Continuing with questions for Jared or Bryce. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Please remember to state your name and media affiliation before you ask your question. Questions for the Auburn student athletes, please raise your hand. We'll send the microphone steward in your direction. There's one up front on the left side.
This is for both Jared and Bryce. Obviously, you're down 10 with 5 minutes to go. You go on a remarkable tear. You take a 2-point lead. At that point, what's being said in the huddle? What are you saying to each other? And in an attempt to close out the game, obviously.
We'll ask Bryce to take that first, then Jared.
We just all season long, we've been through a lot of adversity, and Coach does a good job of just keeping us together. Me and Jared do a good job of keeping the guys together, and we've been down like that before, and I think it's just staying together, somebody stepping up and just letting everybody know, no matter what happens, don't go off and do your own thing, and I feel like at the end of the day, in the game, we stayed together, and that's why we were able to make that run.
Jared, same question.
I just think that those last when we were down 10, we just figured out that we had to get stops. We had to find a way to get stops. We didn't start the second half out well. Defensively, we let them do what they wanted. So being able to climb back in the game and get in that position was great for us. But of course, we wish we could have finished with a different result.
If you have a question for Bryce or Jared, please raise your hand. All the way in the back to the right again.
Bryce, obviously a tough situation, but what were the emotions like when it seemed like you guys thought you had won the game, and then hearing of the foul call?
Yeah, we kind of thought we had it sealed. It just came down to that last possession. That's not where we lost the game, like Jared said, but it was a significant part where I just didn't agree with the call, and can't say too much about that.
Left side of the room toward the front.
Lucas Weiss, last word on sports. Bryce and Jared, obviously disappointing loss, and there's such a fine line between winning and losing. But after a few days of recovery and reflecting back on this season, what positives are you both going to take going forward in the development of your game and into next season?
Once again, we'll ask Bryce to take that first, then Jared.
Like I said, I feel like all season long we've went through a lot of adversity. There's been a lot of times we could have given up as a team, and the season could have went downhill easily. But the guys, we trusted in the coaches. We trusted in what we do. We never changed what we do, and we stayed true to ourselves and continued to just trust each other the whole season. And I wouldn't have rather did it with any other guys in the nation, any other coaches in the nation. We truly feel like we have the best players, best coaches. This it's been family all my 4 years, and I wouldn't trade this team for nothing.
And Jared.
Like you said, we battled through a lot of adversity this year. We definitely grew a lot as a team, even individually, just trusting one another. I think that's where we did a good job coming towards the end of the year. We played a great end of the season, a great March coming into the Final Four. I feel like we still played good tonight, but it was a tough loss. Yeah.
Any further questions for Bryce or Jared? There's one on the left.
George Schroeder, USA Today. This is for Jared. Played down the stretch, you're down 10. Jerome has the ball trying to post you up. Can you take us through that sequence? He did not score, and then he fouled on the way back up the court. It seemed like a turning point, 4th foul for him. Can you take us through that sequence, and did you think that he was frustrated at that point?
I was just thinking I had to make plays defensively, just try to do the job I good. I wasn't scoring the ball as well tonight, so I felt like I had to impact the game in another way, and that being on the defense end. He had a great game tonight, so when I was able to step in front of him, I was just trying to limit and make it as hard as I could for him.
We'd like to thank Bryce and Jared for joining us here in the main interview room, and congratulations, you guys, on a great season. They're going to head back to the locker room right now. It should still be open for a few more minutes. Questions for Coach Pearl, please raise your hand. There's one in the center of the room. Or to use the front left microphone there, Matt.
Naomi Gray, Fox 47. Coach, this is obviously a heartbreaking loss for your program. What words did you tell your guys following a loss like this in efforts to kind of lift their spirits?
I asked them, would we have trusted God any more in victory than we would trust him in defeat, in the sense that he carried us all the way here, all season long, and put so much blessing upon us. And so this is what the plan was. And let's handle the defeat like with dignity and with class. Let's give the opponent credit. Virginia shot 57% in the second half. Offensively, they played really well and scored and knocked down shots, and as a result, they're still playing.
On the right side, toward the front, Nicole.
Nicole Auerbach of The Athletic. Bruce, did you see Ty Jerome and the double dribble? Did you think in that moment that it was a missed call?
We were in a situation late where we had some fouls to give, and I knew there was a disruption there. And you just got to get on to the next play.
Continuing with questions for Coach Pearl. Is there a final question for Coach Pearl? Let's go up front.
Jim Root from Three Man Weave. Tony was just out talking about after last year how he made Ty and Kyle come up and face the media with after their loss. Is this something you talk with Jared and the other guys that are coming back, where this is something we can build on? We have a lot of talent still in the locker room, and you have a program that can continue to compete in the next year and in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, for us, I thought that we looked like we belonged. We weren't supposed to be here. We weren't supposed to have a chance to win, or maybe had a chance to win, but unlikely. And just like we have done all year long, even when we got down, there was still time on the clock, and there were points to be scored, rebounds to be had, and I thought our kids made a lot of plays to be able to, win the game. So in this will be a memorable game, and I'd like it to be remembered for a great game. And let's not remember this game because of just how it ended. Let's remember two teams that played really hard, that only had 13 turnovers combined, didn't shoot it very well because there was great defense, had nothing to do with the sight lines or the rims. I mean, we missed a lot of threes. We missed some open shots. but we played against a great defense. And it was a great college basketball game.
On the right side of the aisle.
Joe Giuliano, Philadelphia Inquirer. Bruce, despite what you said, I have to ask you, what was your view of the last call, and what did you tell Samir in the locker room afterward?
Really we didn't focus on that. We focused on how we were going to handle the defeat at Auburn with class and dignity. There are lots of calls during the game, and you're going to get some you're not, and some you're not going to get. My advice as an administrator of the game is, if that's a foul, call it. Call it at the beginning of the game, call it in the middle of the game, call it at the end of the game. Don't call it any more or less at any other time during the game. That was the call. But it can't define, don't let it define the game, because then you're taking away from Ty Jerome. Or you're taking away from Anthony McLemore with 12 rebounds. Or, Bryce Brown almost leading Auburn back to an incredible come-from-behind victory. I'd love that to be the story.
Is there a final question for Coach Pearl? We'd like to thank Coach Pearl for joining us here in the main interview room. And Coach, congrats on a great season and a great run.